A lot of information to sort through this afternoon involving this shooting. We can tell you one student was shot today. That student is expected to be okay, thankfully. The suspected shooter, another student, is in custody. No other injuries were reported there on campus. Now, we first got word of this just before 11 a.m. at Wilmer-Hutchins High School in southeast Dallas. That's right at the intersection of I-20 and I-45. Let's take you out live over that school from our chopper right now. We have also learned that within the hour here that a teacher had helped to defuse that situation and potentially saved lives out there at that high school today. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez has been all over this today. She is out at the high school joining us live after listening in on a news conference this afternoon and getting critical information from her sources all day today. Rebecca, what are you able to tell us as we come on the air at this hour?
Well, Jason, this news conference basically confirmed what my sources told us early on, that this involved two students who possibly knew each other, and that one student was shot in the leg, as you mentioned, and another student, the shooter, ran off and was arrested shortly after the shooting. Now, we are told that this happened in an area of the school called Hall G Hall. They say the shooter and the victim had words, that's according to my sources, and then the suspect shot that student in the leg. The DISD superintendent says the teacher inside that classroom prevented further tragedy by getting the shooter out of the school. She called the teacher humble and brave. DISD Police Chief Albert Martinez says officers arrested the suspect shortly after the shooting in an area around the football field. They are still trying to determine the motive at this time. They will go through security videos and talk to witnesses to determine how that gun got into the school, which has metal detectors. By the way, that gun was found in the woods nearby, according to sources. Now, the school was shut down as officers secured the entrances and eventually reunited students with frightened parents.
I refuse to say that we will normalize these behaviors. I refuse. And I hope that everyone joins me, as everyone here who is supporting us at this time understands this can never become acceptable. We can and we must eradicate these types of situations.
There will be an after-action report to determine exactly how the system failed, how the security system failed here at the school. The shooter, who is 17 years old, is being questioned by police. The 17-year-old victim went to Baylor, again, non-life-threatening injuries. No one else was injured, but as you can imagine, this was very frightening. Parents rushed here to this scene to see exactly how their students and their children were doing. And for more on reaction from parents, we go to my colleague, Kevin Reese. Kevin.
Yeah, Rebecca, the superintendent also at that news conference this afternoon said that she did not want to rush the reunification process. Parents and students, they wanted to make sure it was done right, just make sure it was done efficiently. But at the same time, parents tell me they had a lot of conflicting information about what to do and when, and that led to a very frustrating process this morning and this afternoon. Listen in.
Now they're telling us we can't get them until they give them the okay that we can get in there. That's bull.
That was just one of the parents that we were with today as they were waiting, as roadblocks were set up at every corner on the campus. Parents lined up where they could, waiting to get through to their kids. Some had cell phone access to their kids. Others had no way of knowing what was happening inside the schools. And as we went from roadblock to roadblock, the parents say police were sending them from roadblock to roadblock too. For most of them, it was a frustrating and frightening afternoon, not knowing when or where they would see their kids again.
I would just like for them to let me get to my son. I don't want nothing to happen to my son. And they won't even tell you no answers or nothing. When you ask the cop, they don't give you no answers. They just tell you to get back.
Definitely the scariest thing, that you feel helpless because you can't get to your son, you can't get to your heart, to your joy.
That's so difficult. I'm living like a five house to that school, and I don't know nothing because the police say it's only one kid in the hospital, and I don't know.
So I guess they're releasing on Lemon, but the police is saying they're not releasing on this side, which is conflicting. If y'all all work for the police, y'all should know if they're releasing on one side opposed to the other.
Yeah.
So.
But then this video, right before 2 o'clock, parents were allowed to approach the northwest side of the high school campus. And as they gathered in one big single file line and their names were called one by one, they were slowly and efficiently, as it looked at this point, reunited with their kids. That process has ended now here at the high school. It happened right behind me, ended at the elementary school as well. But with a lot of questions from parents about why it had to be so frustrating, why it had to be so confusing, questions they will pose to administrators as they figure out how everything happened here today. Back to you.